Well, I hugged him, you know.
And after you were there with the marks on your son's neck, and you hugged him and you all cried, you called the family together.
That's right.
Got down on your knees.
Right.
And prayed that not only for thanks, but also you told me that you prayed as a family that this event would never be remembered by the family connected to charity. What did you mean by that?
Well, we were not going to let an event such as this ever stop us from giving money to charity and from making charity our principal driving force in life. And there will be a lot of good deeds that go that are punished in one way or another. People have to realize that when they give money, they sometimes are targets. But that's okay. I mean, the fact that, and it's never the amount of money one gives, it's the spirit in which they give. And sometimes it can be money, sometimes it can be themselves, oftentimes it can just be their own personal time and effort. But the greatest gift one can give is to give charity, because charity faileth no one, according to the scriptures. And what we met is that we were not going to ever be detoured in our efforts to make a difference in the lives of others, simply because somebody had tried to take advantage of us because of a charitable act.
I want to share with the audience next why John told me that story and what I got out of it. Back in a second. We're here with my good friend, John Huntsman Sr., the best man I know. And we were just sharing a story. He shared a story that he hasn't shared before. He shared it with me on the back porch of his home. Do you remember when you shared, John?
Yes.
We were sitting there looking at the river, and he was standing up, leaning against his railing, and he told me that story. We were going through some struggles in our life, and things had been a little dicey with what I do. And you told me that story, and you said to me, don't ever let things change you. Don't ever let the bad events change you.
Remember.
And don't close off your heart. I was out in August in Salt Lake City, and I went to the Cancer Institute for some checkups, and they practically turned me inside out. And I think I just had a Dorito stuck in my chest someplace. And John was worried about me and brought me to his office, and I was getting ready to leave. And John, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him. And I found out that the reason why is he was busy. While I was at his hospital, he was busy opening up a battered women's shelter in the town. And he knew if, this is what I was told, he knew that if I was told that I would want to come down and see it and be there, and if that is indeed true, you're right. I was actually kind of smoked at you that you didn't tell me that. John taught me, the first thing that he taught me was you got to care about the entire human condition. It can't be just about one thing, it's got to be about all of it. And I hope to be able to do that, John. I hope to be able to do that. I want to make a plea to you that whatever it is this holiday season, no matter how little you have or how much you have, to share it, because it really does make things meaningful. It makes it, and I think actually the less you have, the more meaningful it becomes. I know Karen has told a story. Karen is John's wife. Karen didn't know this while it was happening. When John and Karen were first married and you were very poor, you actually went without lunch. She divvied out the money and gave him lunch money every day. And you actually dropped it off in a mailbox of a neighbor's house who was worse off than you guys were. And you went without lunch for how long, John?
Well, for
a while.
A while, quite a while. But that's okay.
Yeah. Me, I could afford, I could drop a few LBs, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I would have done that. It's the little stuff that matters. I would invite you to look for a charity in your own neighborhood or your own life. If you are concerned with cancer, the Huntsman Cancer Institute is so unbelievably worth your investment. It is a place where people are treated with dignity, and you don't find that very often. It is a place that I would want to go if I had cancer. And I believe, John told me, he said, we're going to cure cancer here one day, and I actually believe him. And I will put my money where my mouth is. John, Tanya and I would like to give you $100,000 to the Huntsman Cancer Foundation. And you keep it up. Back in just a second.
Good job, John. You shouldn't have done that.
Final couple of minutes with billionaire, industrialist, philanthropist, all-around good guy, and fisherman, John Huntsman. Kristen, up in the on the back row, you have a question for John.
I do. How do you keep it all balanced with family, with work, with charity? How do you do it?
Well, thank you very much. And at the expense of sounding self-serving, which I hope I don't sound that way, you really almost have to look at life as one entity, and they all flow together as one situation. I look at my family, I look at my faith, I look at giving. The scriptures tell us that charity faileth, never faileth, and I believe that we have to live our lives so that we all fit into the same box, and instead of having a box for charity and a box for work and a box for family and a box for society and something
That's
else.
why you don't believe in that a man can be split, that he can be dishonest at home and honest in his business dealings.
That's correct. I mean, the basic premise, and I think it was a very good question, is that it's one whole. I mean, we can't separate ourselves at work or at school or at some other place, whether it's charity, whether it's because we have to give charity at work, we have to give charity at school, we have to be kind to others. Graciousness is next to godliness.
Do the good guys win in the end, John?
I think the reason I wrote this book, Winners Never Cheat, is people say, well, that's silly. I know a lot of people who have cheated. No, that isn't the point. The point is, in your own mind, in your own heart, you're a winner if you know you haven't cheated. You know you're a winner. And if you know you're a winner, that's all that counts. You're a winner.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
I'd love to have him back if you'd come back sometime just to talk about business in the future in America, because things are changing in America, but it is all good. Back in a minute. Next week, you are going to have a ride of your life. On Wednesday, we're in Wilmington, Ohio for America's first Christmas, and on Monday, and I hate to break this to this audience, on Monday we'll be joined by an audience, my favorite things, kind of like Oprah, except she gives away cars, and mine will most likely be M&Ms and Oreo cookies. What, they're my favorite things. Join me for things ways to celebrate Christmas and gifts you can give that will enrich your life. From New York, good night, everyone.